today, in the world that is digital, in the world that is IoT, in the world that is mobile, what distinguishes mobile from other kind of channels is that the individual is now the point of discovery, the point of sale, the point of display, because they have this connected device in their hands. So not only do you need to focus on building this first-party consent-based database to be able to actively engage and interact with the individuals you serve directly, but you're also going to have to do it under the umbrella of these new people-centric, privacy-centric regulations, and in a world where people want to demand and have ownership and control over their data.
Hi, I'm Nishant Garg with WhatMarketWants. My guest for today is a mobile marketing expert. He was a board member of the Mobile Marketing Association. He's the author of the book Mobile Marketing Essentials and many more. Let's welcome the award-winning marketer, Micahel Becker. Hi.
Hi there. Thank you very much, everybody. And just a quick clarification, I'm a former board member of the Mobile Marketing Association. I used to help found the Mobile Marketing Association was on its board for 10 years.
Oh, okay. So you have been in this industry for so long. You have written several books. You have won many awards. How's your marketing journey been?
Sure. It's been pretty darn fascinating. I started out in business development and sales. And then in the early 2000s, I was one of the, I think I arguably was the first company to start a SaaS-based multi-channel mobile marketing platform. We had integrated text messaging, mobile website development, and mobile advertising all into a single SaaS-based platform in the 2004 and 2000 timeframe. And then ever since then, been actively involved in mobile and digital marketing and really focused on how do we engage and properly serve the connected individual.
All right. So tell me, what marketing activities are categorized as mobile marketing? How is it any different from digital marketing?
That's a really, really good question. And what I would suggest people think about is today, in the world that is digital, in the world that is IoT, in the world that is mobile, what distinguishes mobile from other kind of channels is that the individual is now the point of discovery, the point of sale, the point of display, because they have this connected device in their hands. And so when we think about mobile marketing, what we need to think about is mobile marketing is really defined as the ability to connect with and serve an individual through and with mobile or through and with their connected device. Whether or not that device today be a phone, a tablet, or a watch, and increasingly, maybe even my Ray-Ban glasses, right? Because I now have connectivity through my glasses. So if you think about the Google AR, VR properties where we're interacting through new and innovative means like that all encompasses this idea of mobile. So in summary, mobile marketing is the ability to connect and serve an individual through and with mobile. And again, mobile means a lot of things in today's world.
So why should companies care about mobile marketing? What's there to gain or lose for them?
I want to go back to that point that I said before. The individual today, the connected individual is the point of sale. They are the point of discovery. They are the point of support. What that means is I'm choosing what channels I want to interact and engage you on rather than you choosing and dictating which channels I need to engage and interact with you on. So in other words, the vast majority of mobile web traffic today initiates from a mobile device. The vast majority of messaging and communications, such as email and obviously by default SMS, all initiate from a mobile device. The majority of emails, for instance, are read on a mobile device and only read once on that mobile device. So in other words, if you are not optimizing your brand experience for the mobile experience, you might as well not exist.
Wow, that's a strong statement. So tell me, do you think mobile marketing is being used at its full potential by companies?
It depends. I mean, define marketing. I think a lot of companies think marketing and define marketing primarily in the terms of advertising, right? Because that's, and promotion, if you will.
So true. That's the biggest misconception.
And marketing is so much more than just the means to which of presenting a promotional message in front of someone, which is namely the function of advertising. If you think about it just in the narrow lens of advertising, then yes, the majority of advertising spend today across the leading industries is going to mobile. Right now I saw a study just as early this morning. 70+% of ad spend is going to mobile for major industries. So in that regard, yeah, I would say the major CPG brands, major retailers, automotive, et cetera, are seeing mobile advertising as a primary means and function of engagement. However, mobile marketing is so much more than that. Marketing is about being of service to your individual, understanding the individuals that you serve, engaging them at every step along the purchase funnel. And in that regard, it's not just about advertising. It's primarily messaging. It's SMS, it's MMS, it's RCS, it's email, it's all the over-the-top messages, channels such as WhatsApp, et cetera. And if you think about it, commercial messaging is so underserved right now in the marketplace. I saw a statistic just this last week that said less than 6% of brands are doing commercial text messaging, for example. But yet we know the vast majority of people are communicating with each other through text and or through chatbots and or through similar means. And so frankly, what that means and what that tells me is no, I think the vast majority of companies are underserving the opportunity to engage and interact with their customers. And then there's just so many other things that we need to think about to be properly mobile centric, such as mobile responsive designed emails, mobile responsive designed websites, properly SEO tagging in all of your material and content. You have all of these different kind of things that you need to consider when you're wanting to engage and interact through mobile.
Okay. So what are the most common mistakes you see companies make while doing mobile marketing?
Getting overly complex too quickly. So the most common mistake I see is, chasing the new shiny object, and not really considering the nature and of their customer and what their customer and the people they serve are really needing in the moment and time. So, for instance, many marketers will think they'll get called to the siren song of I need an app for that, and they'll spend a lot of time and energy focused on building an app, not realizing that frankly, if you're a consumer facing brand, less than 10% of your customers will ever use your app. You should in that context not focus putting your dollars into an app, but rather put your dollars into optimized mobile web, web landing pages, messaging programs, effective advertising programs, and fundamentally realizing that, especially in the day today, when regulations, for instance, are killing the cookie, if you will, and the latest iOS 15 release has stopped a lot of the tracking capabilities within mobile. The biggest mistake I think brands are making is they're not realizing the number one asset that they need to build for them to be successful is their first party customer database. And so they're lacking that essentially, and I see many brands make this mistake. They're lacking this, what I'll call the owned media causeway, a strategy where you're essentially doing everything in your power to build a consent-based first party, essentially CRM or customer database with phone numbers and email addresses that allow you to circumvent traditional media channels and go directly and interact directly with the connected individual.
So when you said companies run behind the new shiny thing, could you give us a few examples?
Well, again, I did. The first example, and it's not even new shiny thing, it's the app, right? So many businesses, so many brands think they need an app. And the statistic I mentioned is less than 10% of consumers will actually ever use your app. Your app should be focused on and designed specifically for your most loyal users that are serving a specific purpose and for them. And unless you're like an Uber or something like that requires some really dedicated functionality, an app isn't necessarily necessary for your business. If you're the average marketer, the average business, your goal should be to establish your mobile presence and a communications channel. And that essentially, again, means an optimized mobile website with text messaging and optimized email. That's the kind of the most common denominator that you would need to truly be successful in the mobile world. Then you wrap around that other traffic generation mediums like email messaging campaigns, advertising, etc.
Interesting. So when you talk about mobile marketing, what are the main aspects a brand should look at?
This is where I think in today's day and age, if you think about the numbers, we really even frankly shouldn't be talking about mobile marketing anymore. It's just marketing, right? It just so happens that the primary means of consumer engagement and individual engagement is happening through and with mobile. So what I would highly encourage businesses to understand is that marketing today is mobile marketing. So, marketing today is social media marketing. Marketing today is being of service to the individual where the individual chooses to be. That is marketing today. Then you need to think about what does that really mean? It fundamentally goes down to know your customer, know who you're serving, know what they want, know what they're feeling, know what problem you're trying to solve, and then pick the appropriate medium, whether or not it be an optimized website, an email, a text message, or some combination thereof that will help you most effectively serve that individual at every point along that customer journey. I think that's the key step is start with your personas, start really zeroing down as to who these individuals are that you're serving. And then once you understand that, you can find the most effective ways to be able to engage them.
So in your view, which brand is doing it well? Which brand is using the mobile marketing channel at its full potential?
That's a really good question. I mean, and it's a hard one because it's very, industry sector and domain specific. I'm going to cheat a little bit and just say the bigger brands like Starbucks is killing it. Starbucks is inventing a lot of the new and unique, really ways to engage and interact with people. Uber's doing a fine job in the way they've created their whole mobile experience and how they make that happen. Other brands that are doing incredibly well would be like Skechers. They've developed a very effective text messaging channel with their customers, and which both serves the customer but also is very commercially lucrative for them. So I think we're sometimes we get distracted by the new fancy shiny object, and that we want that. We want that augmented reality program. We want that app. We want this. We want that. And we realize that it's just the bread and butter things of an optimized mobile website and optimized emails, mobile optimized messaging experiences are really where it's at.
Great. And which brands are not doing it well according to you?
Any brand and again, I'm just going to more generically state it. Any brand that's using the latest and greatest fancy personalized scraping utilities are not doing it well. So for instance, I just recently was given some experience where they scraped my name and my title and my latest recommendation off of LinkedIn. And the message I got says, wow, you got this great recommendation. And then, isn't that great? So basically they clickbaited me into reading their message. And then the very next sentence is, we want to sell you this, which had no relevance to me whatsoever.
Oh,
so I think, I think we need to do a better job at what personalization means.
Yeah.
And to really understand context. And I think many, many brands are struggling with that today, frankly, because of the miscommunication and misalignment of their internal systems and the difficulty that marketers face and getting true alignment within their back-end operating systems to be able to provide predictive, real-time, contextual engagement with users, which is really the next evolution of where mobile is going.
I guess there's a thin line between marketing and manipulation. A lot of companies need to understand that.
Yeah, and the problem with that is what you end up doing is you tarnish your brand. When you click, it's the old in fishing. There's a term called angular fish. And the anglers, those that go fish. And fish are pretty smart. As are we. And if you bait me too many times, I'm going to realize that that's bait, and I'm going to stop engaging with you. Yeah. I'm going to go find another pond to go swim in. And I think that's what marketers need to really be careful of, is not to bait their customers too often. You need to find a way to provide value at every interaction.
So true. So tell me, what's next? What should brands be thinking about beyond mobile marketing?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question. And as I said, there's really nothing beyond mobile marketing per se, and that marketing is mobile, marketing is social, marketing is digital today. I think what marketers really need to be aware of and in tuned is that starting around circa 2020, 2021, there was a massive inflection point in the market. And what that inflection point is, people have woken up. We are aware that the modern day marketing is being driven from our personal data, and we are not liking it. And that awareness is generating people to create concern about how their data is being used in the marketplace, and then ultimately that's driving them to wanting control. So there's this myth out there in the marketplace that people don't care about their privacy, people don't care about their data. That myth is going to get exceptionally squashed over the next, say, 2 to 3 years. And marketers absolutely need to prepare for that. Because essentially, and then I'll summarize it in kind of 3 terms: people are connected, people are concerned, and people want control. And that idea of control is being generated both from their own personal awareness. That awareness is fundamentally being created by the over 10,000 data hacks that have been evolved in the marketplace since 2005. That awareness is also growing with the global implementation of people-centric regulations, like the GDPR regulations in Europe, or the California Consumer Privacy Protection Act, or even the acts that were put in Columbia, Virginia, and Colorado just this last couple of months. Today, worldwide, roughly 10% of people fall under some form of people-centric regulation, which means that they have the right to ask you as a brand to give them a copy of their data. They have the right to rectification, the right to data portability, and a handful of other rights. In other words, you need to be prepared to give people their data back. Again, as I noted, 10% of the world's population right now falls under one of those regulations. By 2023, it's estimated that 65% of the world's population will fall under one of those people-centric regulations. So not only do you need to focus on building this first-party consent-based database to be able to actively engage and interact with the individuals you serve directly, but you're also going to have to do it under the umbrella of these new people-centric, privacy-centric regulations, and in a world where people want to demand and have ownership and control over their data. And those fundamental points are going to absolutely reshape the very fundamentals of marketing in the world and the months, days, and years to come.
So how do you suggest marketers should adapt to this new people in privacy-centric world?
You're going to hear buzzwords like privacy by design. You're going to hear buzzwords about making sure your MarTech solutions are integrated. You're going to hear terminology around self-sovereign identity. What you really need to prepare for is this idea that your MarTech stacks are going to change. Your data management is going to change. One of the most important things that you can prepare for is really accept that being compliant to these regulations that I was referring to is not about checking the legal checkbox, but realizing that it's a way to differentiate yourself in the market. You're actually treating a person as a self-sovereign individual, and you're going to say your privacy matters, your data matters. And because of that, we have developed infrastructure that actually, and those that are really going to do it right, which no one worldwide is doing it right now, it will be such that you will be giving their data back to them in real time as they interact with you, and you'll be integrating through these new self-sovereign identity infrastructure layers, and you will be interacting directly with what's called a personal information management solution that has been chosen by that individual. All of those are new terms and terminologies that are now interjecting into the market language now. So I don't necessarily expect that you would understand them. But you absolutely need to be doing your homework on this right now, because there is a global tsunami when it comes to personal data control that is now starting to wash over the shores of the world's societies and economies. And as that water recedes in the next, say, 12, 13, 24, 36 months, the topology and landscape of marketing, consumer engagement, and commerce will be forever changed. And the fundamental stepping stones and path towards successful consumer engagement going towards in the future will be about connecting with individuals, communicating with them, and then effectively conducting consent-based commerce. And those are the path forward. Those 3 C's: connection, communication, and commerce, that will really lead you to a path of abundant and fruitful success for you to be able to engage and interact with your customers in the future.
Lastly, tell me, what are your favorite branding and marketing books?
I've been really focused on a lot of the privacy-centric elements right now, and frankly, there aren't a ton of modern books. Like right now, there is no textbook in mobile marketing other than the one I've written called Mobile Marketing Essentials. There are one of my legacy favorite books is a book called Story Wars by John Sachs, and it's getting a bit old right now, but I think the message in it is critically important, and that is stop fear-mongering with your users, actually empower them with your messaging, and leverage the story methods and story frameworks that have been so valuable for encouraging and empowering people over the last couple of 1,000 years. The Nike Just Do It is a great example of that, and use empowerment rather than fear to engage people. And I think it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of effort, and it requires you to intimately know and know what your customers value. But if you get it right, you can make some huge wins. So those are a few things that come top of mind.
Wow, it was a pleasure talking to you, Michael. Thanks a lot for your time and insights.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I'm around. If anybody that's listening into this is interested, please feel free to reach out and connect with me via LinkedIn. And I'm happy to be of service at any time. Thank you.
If you want to learn more about mobile marketing, you should check out his books. You will find the links in the description. To get more such great insights from the world of business, branding, and marketing, subscribe to What Market Wants. Share this with someone you want to help, and let me help you unlock your market potential. Cheers.